The alien fleet arrived in silence. No victory songs. No lights of celebration. Only damaged hulls drifting like wounded animals through cold space. Their war had lasted too long. Generations had been born and died inside metal walls. Fuel was low. Systems were failing. Hope was thin. On the navigation screen of the command ship, an old star map flickered. Repair World, Sol, 3 status, abandoned. The name meant little to most of the crew. It was ancient data, from a time before the current war, from a time when the galaxy still believed in rest. The commander stared at the blue-green dot. Earth, he said quietly. No one argued. They had no other choice. As the fleet slipped into the system, tension spread through every deck. Sensors showed a living planet. Oceans, clouds, a breathable atmosphere. That alone was wrong. Abandoned worlds usually died. Long-range scans searched for defenses. Nothing. No weapon platforms. No active shields. No patrol fleets. The silence felt unnatural. Dropships descended through the clouds, prepared for ruins and radiation. Soldiers checked weapons. Engineers prepared emergency kits. Medical teams expected survivors or bones. Instead, the first thing they saw was light. Cities glowed across the dark side of the planet. Not flickering ruins, but steady power. Roads, towers, moving vehicles. Energy grids are far stronger than expected. This is not possible, one officer whispered. They landed in an open field near a city. Grass moved in the wind. The air was clean. Too clean. No ash. No chemical scars. The ramps lowered. No alarms sounded. No weapons fired. A group waited for them outside the landing zone. Humans. They stood calmly. No armor. No fear. Some wore simple clothes. Others wore work uniforms. One held a small cup, steam rising into the air. The alien commander stepped forward, every instinct screaming danger. The human smiled. Welcome, the human said in clear, careful words. You look like you need repairs. And rest. The commander froze. The language was perfect. Not translated. Not broken. Learned. Who are you? The commander demanded. The human gestured gently toward the city. Friends. Hosts. Engineers. Baristas, if you stay long enough. The word meant nothing, but the tone did. Calm. Warm. Certain. Scanners went wild. Human technology flooded their systems. Power readings off the scale. Networks everywhere. Machines beneath the soil. Beneath the oceans. Beneath the cities. Hidden. Waiting. The aliens followed, weapons lowered but ready. The city was alive. Machines moved smoothly. Humans worked together with quiet precision. No panic. No rush. Inside a massive structure, alien ships were guided into repair docks that unfolded like metal flowers. Arms moved with impossible speed. Hull breaches sealed. Engines stabilized. Damage erased in minutes. The aliens watched in stunned silence. This should take months, an engineer whispered. A human technician glanced over. It used to, he said. We got better. They were given food, water, medical care, and the strange hot drink. Dark, bitter, powerful. Coffee, a human explained. Helps you stay awake when things matter. The alien commander felt his mind sharpen. His exhaustion eased. That frightened him more than any weapon. He demanded answers. The humans gave them simply. Long ago, Earth was chosen as a repair world. A neutral place. A quiet place. When the galaxy burned, ships came here to heal. Then the galaxy left. Wars moved on. Trade routes collapsed. No one returned. Humanity stayed. They studied every broken ship, every abandoned weapon, every failed design. They learned not how to conquer, but how to fix. And when there was nothing left to fix, the commander asked. The human smiled again. We fixed ourselves. The smile did not reach his eyes. Deep beneath the surface, alarms sounded. Human alarms. A new signal entered the system. Fast. Massive. Armed. An enemy fleet. Old galactic codes confirmed it. A conquering empire, following the damaged aliens here, planning to take Earth for resources. The alien commander turned to the human leader. You should evacuate, he said. You have no defenses. The human looked toward the sky, where stars slowly shifted. Oh, he replied calmly. We do. The ground trembled, just slightly. Far below the city, ancient doors began to open. And Earth woke up. The tremor did not stop. At first, it felt like distant thunder, low, slow, almost gentle. Then it spread through the city, through the landing field, through the alien ships resting in their docks. Glass hummed, metal sang, sensors spiked and then failed, overwhelmed by signals coming from everywhere at once. The alien commander stiffened. His crew reached for weapons out of instinct, even though no threat had been shown. The humans did not move. They did not run. They did not shout warnings. They did not raise alarms and panic. They simply watched the sky. High above the clouds, something invisible shifted. Space bent, just enough for trained eyes to notice. The stars over Earth were no longer steady points. They were being measured. Status, the commander snapped. His officers tried to answer, but their screens were chaotic. Power readings surged and dropped in patterns that made no sense. Communication channels filled with encrypted signals, human signals, so dense they drowned everything else out. "This planet is alive," one officer whispered. A human engineer standing nearby nodded, as if that statement were obvious. "Yeah," she said. "That's usually when things get serious." The alien commander turned sharply. "You said you were engineers." "Hosts. Repair workers." "We are," the engineer replied. "All of that is true. Then what is happening beneath this city?" The human paused for a moment. "Not out of fear, but out of choice. We are switching from hospital mode," she said, "to emergency response." That word, emergency, carried weight. The ground split open in places far from the city center. Not violently. Precisely. Circular sections of land sank down, revealing structures that had never appeared on any scan. Towers rose silently from underground, their surfaces smooth and dark, reflecting no light. Alien scanners screamed again. "These are not repair tools," an officer said. "These are military structures." The human engineer tilted her head slightly. "They started as repair tools," she said. "Everything we build does." Above the planet, the alien fleet's damaged ships were suddenly wrapped in fields of soft blue light. Hull stabilized. Power systems are balanced. Fires that had burned for weeks vanished in seconds. "Your ships are safe," another human voice said over open comms. "Calm. Steady. We won't let anything hit them." The commander did not feel relief. He felt small. On the main command ship, human technicians walked freely now, their presence accepted without orders being given. They moved with quiet confidence, touching systems the aliens themselves barely understood. Every time a human adjusted something, the ship improved. Faster response times, cleaner power flow, less strain. "Why?" the commander demanded, watching a human child, barely grown, rewrite navigation code older than his species' history. "Why help us like this?" The child did not look up. "Because you're here," he said. "And you're broken." The answer was said without insult, without pride, just a fact. Outside, the sky darkened, not with clouds, but with shadows. The incoming enemy fleet had crossed into the system. Their ships were sharp and aggressive, built for fear. Weapons charged openly. They made no effort to hide. They expected prey. The alien commander's chest tightened. "They will glass this planet," he said. "They do not negotiate." A human leader finally stepped forward. Older, calm. His voice carried easily without shouting. "They won't," he said. "You don't understand them," the commander replied. "They erase worlds to send messages." The human nodded slowly. "So did we," he said. "Once." That answer sent a chill through every alien present. On screens across the city, images appeared. Human history, compressed and simplified. Early wars, broken alliances, burned cities, humanity's own near-extinction moments. "We learned something," the human continued. "War doesn't end when someone wins. It pauses, then it comes back worse." The enemy fleet opened communication channels. Their message was simple, demanding, cruel. "This world is now under our claim. Surrender all technology and labor forces. Resistance will be erased." The alien commander waited for the humans to panic. They did not. A different human voice responded instead. Not loud, not threatening. No, it said. Just one word. The enemy commander laughed openly across the channel. "You are insects standing on salvage," the voice sneered. "You don't even have a fleet." The human response came after a short pause. "You're right," the human said. "We don't have a fleet." The ground beneath Earth's oceans began to move. Across the planet, massive structures rose from beneath the waves. Not ships yet, frames. Skeletons. Dockyards the size of cities. Machines swarmed over them, assembling hulls at speeds that defied logic. The enemy commander fell silent. The alien commander stared in disbelief. "How long," he asked quietly, "have you been building this?" The human leader folded his hands behind his back. "Since the last time the galaxy left us behind," he said. "We assumed it might happen again." Enemy weapons charged. Human systems reacted instantly, not with firing solutions, but with calculations, probability trees, behavioral predictions, thousands of war outcomes simulated in seconds. Human ships, still unfinished, activated shields anyway. They were not beautiful. They were not intimidating by alien standards. They were efficient. The first enemy volley fired. Human defenses absorbed it without visible effort. The second volley never landed. Enemy targeting systems went dark. Not destroyed, confused. Feeds looped. Coordinates drifted. Weapons locked onto empty space. "What is happening?" the enemy commander roared. A human technician answered calmly, routed directly into the enemy bridge. "We repaired a lot of ships like yours," she said. "We know where your systems fail. You never fixed those parts. You just armored over them." The enemy fleet tried to retreat. They couldn't. Gravity wells, artificial, precise, locked them in place. Not crushing, not lethal, just enough to hold. The alien commander finally understood. Earth was not showing its power to intimidate. It was showing restraint. "Why not destroy them?" the commander asked. "You could." The human leader looked at the trapped enemy fleet on the screen. "Because destruction teaches nothing," he said. "Repair does." Silence spread across the system. Then something unexpected happened. One of the enemy ships powered down its weapons. Then another. Confusion rippled through their formation. Orders conflicted. Fear replaced confidence. The alien commander felt something he had not felt in decades. Hope. But it was a dangerous hope, because now the galaxy would notice. And when the galaxy noticed Earth, it would not come with gratitude. It would come with questions and fear. The human leader turned back toward the stars. "They'll all be coming now," he said softly. The alien commander swallowed. "Are you ready?" The human smiled, not warmly this time, but with quiet resolve. "We've been ready for a long time," he said. The galaxy noticed Earth faster than anyone expected. It started with whispers in deep space channels, automated warnings tripping systems that had not been active for centuries. Old beacons blinked back to life. Relays meant only for emergencies began broadcasting again. Something impossible was happening in the Sol system. Something human. Inside the alien command ship, the atmosphere had changed. Don't panic. Not relief. Something heavier. A shared understanding that nothing would ever return to the way it was. The trapped enemy fleet remained frozen in artificial gravity, weapons dark, engines locked. They were alive, untouched, humiliated. The alien commander watched them in silence. "You could end the war right now," he said slowly to the human leader beside him. "One command, one strike." The human did not look at the screen. He watched the stars beyond it. "And then what?" he asked. "Another empire rises. Another war begins. We've seen the pattern. You sound like you've studied us for a long time." The human nodded. "We had a lot of abandoned data," he said. "A lot of time." Across Earth, humans moved with purpose, but without fear. Civilians were not evacuated. There were no sirens. Children watched the sky from balconies and rooftops, their expressions calm, curious. That unsettled the aliens more than the warships. On the surface, human teams guided alien crews through repair bays that had quietly transformed into something more. Walls shifted, floors reconfigured. Medical stations adapted themselves to alien biology without being asked. "How do your systems know what we need?" an alien medic asked a human doctor. "They don't," the doctor replied. "They learn." That word again. Learn. In orbit, a new signal arrived. Not hostile. Not friendly. Galactic Council emergency broadcast. The channel had not been used in generations. The alien commander felt a tightness in his chest. "They're afraid," he said. "They only speak together when they are." The human leader finally turned toward the screen. "Good," he said. "Then they might listen." The transmission opened. Images of dozens of alien species filled the air, some ancient, some young, all tense. Their voices overlapped in chaos until one was selected to speak. "Earth," the council representative said. "Confirm your status." The human did not answer immediately. He waited. Silence stretched long enough to make them uncomfortable. Then he spoke. Earth is active, he said simply. Murmurs spread across the council feed. You were classified as a non-aligned repair world, another voice said, with no military authority. That classification was made without our consent, the human replied. After you left, the council demanded explanations. Data, limits, intentions. Why are enemy fleets disabled without destruction? One asked. Why are your systems integrated with alien ships? Another demanded. How long have you been building war infrastructure? A third pressed. The human leader listened to every question. Then he asked one of his own. How many wars are happening right now? The council hesitated. The answer came reluctantly. 27 active conflicts. 12 nearing extinction-level escalation. The human nodded slowly. And how many began because of broken treaties, abandoned allies, or ignored repair worlds? No one answered. The alien commander realized something then. The galaxy did not forget Earth by accident. It forgot Earth because it was convenient. We were useful when you needed us. The human continued calmly. Then you moved on. You left your wounded ships, your broken machines, and sometimes your people. Images appeared across the council feed. Alien skeletons found in forgotten bays. Cryopods never retrieved. Records of distress, calls unanswered. The council erupted in anger and denial. These were wartime losses, unavoidable. You cannot judge. We're not judging, the human said. His voice remained steady. We're explaining. The enemy fleet stirred slightly within its gravity locks. The human raised a hand, and the motion stopped. You build a galaxy that keeps breaking itself, he said. You patch it with force. You move on. Then you act surprised when it collapses again. The council representative leaned forward. And what do you propose, Earth? The human looked at the alien commander beside him. The damaged ships are now fully repaired. At the crews who had been given rest instead of orders. We propose repair, he said. Real repair. Systems. Trust. Accountability. That sounds like control, one council member accused. The human shook his head. No, he said. Control is what you've been doing. This is maintenance. Behind the council feed, something else changed. Independent worlds, neutral systems, began opening their own channels. Merchants, refugees, engineers, worlds that had been burned, taxed, or ignored. They had seen what Earth did. They were listening. The alien commander felt the weight of history pressing down. You're challenging the entire balance of power, he said quietly. They won't accept this. The human met his eyes. They don't have to, he said. The system already is. As if to prove the point, alarms flared across multiple council feeds. Not attacks, but reports. Conflicts stalling. Fleets losing coordination. Weapons failing safely instead of catastrophically. Human code, repair code, was spreading through galactic infrastructure, carried unknowingly by ships Earth had fixed over the centuries. It did not seize control. It offered stability. If accepted, what did you do? A council member demanded, fearful of breaking through authority. The human answered honestly. We fixed what you never did. Your core systems still run on assumptions made thousands of years ago. We updated them. That's interference, someone shouted. That's maintenance, the human corrected. The enemy fleet commander broke in, his voice raw with frustration. They crippled us without killing anyone. They rewrote our systems mid-battle. Yes, the human said, turning his gaze toward the trapped ships. Because killing you would teach nothing. Letting you feel powerless does. The enemy commander fell silent. Across Earth, one of the unfinished human warships completed assembly. It powered on, not with a roar, but with a soft vibration that resonated through space. It did not target anything. It simply existed. A statement. The alien commander understood then why humanity frightened the galaxy. Not because of its weapons, because it is remembered. It remembered every abandoned promise, every broken system, every forgotten world. And instead of seeking revenge, it prepared to fix everything. The council feed flickered as members argued among themselves. The human leader waited again. Finally, the council representative spoke, voice strained. What happens now, Earth? The human exhaled slowly. Now, he said, you decide whether this galaxy finally gets repaired or whether we have to stop it from breaking itself again. The transmission ended. In the silence that followed, the alien commander realized this was no longer a single battle. It was the beginning of a reckoning. and humanity was no longer waiting quietly in the background. It had stepped forward, and the galaxy would never be able to ignore Earth again. The galaxy did not answer right away. That silence lasted only 9 minutes. Then everything broke at once. Across known space, navigation beacons shifted priority. Trade lanes locked. Military relays overrode civilian channels. Ancient protocols, older than most living species, activated without permission. It was not an attack. It was made official. On Earth, the human leader stood inside a control hall that had never appeared on any alien scan. It was not hidden by shields. It was hidden by irrelevance. For centuries, it had done nothing important enough for anyone to notice. Until now, holographic projections filled the air, maps of the galaxy layered with probabilities. Each glowing line represented a choice someone else might make. The alien commander watched, stunned. "You predicted this," he said. The human nodded. "We hoped we were wrong." The first reports arrived. 3 regional powers were mobilizing fleets, not to attack Earth directly, but to secure nearby systems. Borders were closing. Neutral zones vanished overnight. Old grudges resurfaced as leaders rushed to grab what they could before the galaxy changed shape. "They're panicking," the alien commander said. "Yes," the human replied. "Panic always reveals priorities." On the surface, humans adjusted without drama. Factories retooled. Launch windows recalculated. Civilian transport shifted routes quietly. There were no speeches. No broadcasts calling for unity. Humanity did not rally. It was executed. Beneath the oceans, the final locks disengaged. The alien commander felt it before the sensors confirmed it. A deep vibration, like a planet exhaling. Structures that had slept since before his species learned faster than light travel rose into open water. They were not warships. They were anchors. Massive constructs that stabilized space itself, smoothing gravity tides and limiting hyperspace distortions. With them active, fleets could not simply jump anywhere they wanted near Earth. The system was being controlled. "Why do this now?" the alien commander asked. "You could have hidden longer." The human leader finally looked tired. "Because hiding only works when no one is looking," he said. "Now everyone is." A new signal arrived, private, encrypted, old. The alien commander recognized the signature instantly. His own government. They demanded access. Oversight. Shared command. "They're afraid you'll replace them," the commander said quietly. The human considered that. "We don't want their seats," he said. "We want their systems to stop failing." The message was left unanswered. Instead, another transmission came through, this one from a small, independent world near a conflict zone. Their fleet had been damaged. Their defenses failed. They were requesting aid. The alien commander waited for debate. There was none. "Route them here," the human ordered. "Priority repair. No conditions." "But that will provoke," an aide began. "It will reveal," the human corrected. Within minutes, the independent world's ships altered course toward Earth. Their captains did not understand why the invitation felt different from others they had received before. They would soon. As the galaxy shifted uneasily, the trapped enemy fleet still hung motionless in Earth's gravity locks. Their commander had not spoken since the council broadcast ended. Finally, he opened a channel directly to Earth. "You are forcing change," he said. "Empires do not survive that." The human leader met his gaze. "Neither do broken systems," he replied. "You think restraint makes you better," the enemy commander sneered. "It makes you weak." The human did not respond immediately. He gestured instead. The gravity locks eased, not fully releasing the enemy ships, but loosening them enough to allow internal movement. "You're free to leave," the human said. "If you can." The enemy commander hesitated. Navigation systems flickered back online, but the galaxy beyond Earth looked different now. Routes unstable. Signals conflicted. Allies repositioning. Leaving meant uncertainty. Staying meant admitting fear. That choice alone broke something inside the enemy fleet. They powered down again. Not in surrender. In confusion. Elsewhere, the consequences of Earth's quiet updates spread faster than anyone predicted. On a distant battlefield, 2 fleets prepared to clash, until their weapons systems refused to arm simultaneously. Safety overrides engaged. Engineers scrambled, finding unfamiliar code stabilizing power flows and preventing overloads. No one could fire first. The standoff turned into negotiation. On another front, an automated defense network detected a massive invasion force and calmly rerouted it around a civilian world it would have destroyed by accident. No orders were given. The system simply chose the least catastrophic outcome. "This is unacceptable," a council member shouted in an emergency session. "They are rewriting galactic behavior." "They are correcting it," another replied. "We just never liked the corrections." The council fractured. Some demanded immediate military action against Earth. Others demanded alliance. Most demanded answers. Earth offered none beyond what it had already said. In the human homeworld, night fell. City lights reflected off rising ship frames, casting long shadows across the oceans. Children watched the sky as another completed vessel lifted gently into orbit. Not aggressive, not hidden. Present. The alien commander stood beside the human leader, watching. "You're not building an army," he said slowly. "You're building infrastructure." The human nodded. "Wars are symptoms," he said. "Infrastructure is the disease." A final report arrived, one that shifted everything. A long-dormant ancient weapon platform, buried near the galactic core, had been activated, not by human command, but in response to the destabilization of power. It was a doomsday system, built to reset the galaxy if balance was lost. "If that fires," the alien commander said, voice tight, "everything dies." The human leader stared at the data. "Then we have a repair job," he said. The alien commander turned sharply. "That system was built by species older than memory. You can't just—" "We already studied it," the human interrupted. "It was left here for repair once. Long ago." The alien commander felt a chill. "You never dismantle old weapons," he realized. "You learn them." The human met his eyes. "So when someone tries to use them again," he said, "we can stop them without repeating the same mistakes." Orders went out. Not shouted, not dramatic. Calm. Human ships adjusted course. Not toward enemies, but toward the galactic core. Not to attack, but to intercept. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Earth had not declared war. It had declared maintenance. And for the first time in recorded history, the galaxy was about to learn what happened when something broken was finally fixed, whether it wanted to be or not. The journey to the galactic core took less time than anyone expected. Not because the distance was short, but because Earth's ships did not travel the way others did. They did not tear holes in space. They did not force shortcuts through unstable dimensions. They smoothed the path ahead of them, repairing space-time as they moved. Alien navigators watched in disbelief as routes that had been labeled impossible for centuries opened gently, like doors that had only been stuck, not locked. "This violates half our physics," the alien commander muttered. The human navigator beside him shook her head. "No," she said. "It fixes the parts you stopped questioning." At the center of the galaxy, the ancient weapon waited. It was not a single machine. It was a network, planet-sized constructs orbiting a dead star, bound together by energy fields so dense they bent light. Its purpose was simple and terrifying. If galactic balance collapsed, it would erase enough civilizations to reset power. Not evil, just final. This thing was built by cowards, the enemy fleet commander said bitterly from his restricted station aboard a human ship. They couldn't solve their conflicts, so they built an ending. The human leader did not argue. "Most do," he said. As Earth's ships approached, the weapon reacted. Systems that had slept for millennia began to wake. Energy levels rose. Defensive constructs aligned. Across the galaxy, panic spread. Emergency broadcasts flooded every channel. Some begged Earth to stop. Others demanded it turn back. A few threatened retaliation, still clinging to pride. Humanity ignored none of them, but it obeyed none of them either. Inside the lead human vessel, a different kind of tension filled the air. Not fear, but weight. Engineers worked silently. Analysts monitored cascading outcomes. Medical teams stood ready, not for battle, but for failure. The alien commander noticed something unsettling. There were no speeches. No one promised victory. "Don't you believe you'll succeed?" he asked quietly. The human leader answered after a moment. "We believe it needs to be tried," he said. "That's not the same thing." As they crossed the final boundary, the ancient weapon spoke. Not in words, but in force. Gravitational waves slammed into the human formation, strong enough to crush moons. Energy beams lanced outward, testing defenses that had never been tested. Human shields flared, not violently, but elastically. They bent, absorbed, redirected. Several ships were still thrown off course. One lost power entirely, drifting dangerously close to the weapon's core. Without orders, two other human vessels broke formation and moved to intercept. They locked onto the drifting ship and pushed it clear, their own systems overheating as they did. One of them shut down permanently. It did not explode. It simply went dark. The alien commander stared. They sacrificed a ship without hesitation. The human leader closed his eyes briefly. Every system we fix costs something, he said. We don't pretend otherwise. Inside the ancient weapon, something unexpected happened. It paused. The system recalculated. Threat assessment algorithms, designed to measure aggression, found none. No targeting. No attack patterns. Only stabilizing fields and corrective signals. Confusion rippled through its logic. Human teams took advantage of the pause. They did not hack. They connected. Repair drones, small, fragile things, slipped through gaps in the weapon's outer shell. They carried no weapons. Only tools and data links. The alien commander watched their feeds. These drones would be destroyed by any defense grid, he said. They would, the human replied, if the grid believed they were threats. Inside, the drones found systems older than recorded language. Cracked power conduits. Feedback loops that had been compensating for damage by increasing output, slowly turning the weapon unstable. This thing is broken, a human engineer said softly. It's been broken for a long time. And still you want to fix it? The enemy commander asked, disbelief heavy in his voice. After what it was built to do. The human engineer did not look up. Yes, she said. Because if we don't, someone else will use it. The weapon surged again. This time, its response was harsher. Entire regions of space compressed violently. One human ship was torn apart, not by enemy fire, but by raw physics. The loss echoed through the fleet. No one cheered. No one raged. They adjusted. But something changed. Across human channels, probability curves shifted sharply downward. Failure became likely. Catastrophic failure became possible. The alien commander felt it. You might not survive this, he said. The human leader nodded. We know. Then why continue? The human finally looked at him fully. Because if we stop, he said, someone else dies instead. Probably many. At that moment, a transmission broke through. From Earth. Civilian networks. Families. Workers. Children. Please do not modify it. Messages. Simple ones. Do what you need to do. We trust you. Come back if you can. The alien commander felt something tighten painfully in his chest. They let you choose this, he said. They didn't demand protection. The human leader's voice was quiet. They never do, he said. They just ask us to try. Inside the ancient weapon, the drones reached the core logic lattice. It was elegant, terrifyingly simple. A system designed to judge when life had failed itself. Human repair code interfaced carefully. The lattice resisted. Not violently. Philosophically, its core assumption was clear. Conflict was inevitable. Erasure was mercy. Human code introduced a contradiction. Repair is possible. The lattice stalled. Systems oscillated. Energy levels spiked dangerously. If this collapses, an engineer warned, it'll take us with it. The human leader nodded. Then we stay, he said. The enemy commander stared at him. You're willing to die to save a galaxy that forgot you. The human did not deny it. Earth was a repair world, he said. Someone has to stay when things are broken. The lattice made a choice. Not to fire. Not to shut down. It began to change. The weapon's energy output dropped sharply. Defensive constructs powered down one by one. The dead star at its center stabilized, no longer feeding uncontrolled reactions. Across the galaxy, sensors lit up. The doomsday system, feared for ages, was going offline. Not destroyed. Repaired. A wave of relief swept through dozens of worlds. And with it came something else. Fear. Because now everyone knows the truth. If humanity could fix that, what else could it fix? And what would it demand in return? On the lead human ship, alarms faded. Systems stabilized. Survivors accounted for the dead ship. Its crew honored quietly in internal logs. No monument. No broadcast. Just memory. The alien commander looked at the human leader. You've changed everything, he said. The galaxy will never feel safe again. The human leader gazed at the repaired weapon, now silent and harmless. No, he said softly. The galaxy has been unsafe this whole time. We just stopped pretending otherwise. As Earth's fleet turned back toward home, the alien commander understood the real cost of what he had witnessed. Humanity did not win wars. It ended with excuses. And that was far more dangerous. Because now the galaxy would have to face a repaired future, whether it was ready for it or not. The return from the galactic core was quieter than the journey out. Not because nothing had happened, but because everyone, human and alien alike, was still trying to understand what had happened. The ancient weapon was no longer a threat. The galaxy had not ended. And for the first time in recorded history, a final solution had been taken apart instead of fired. That alone changed everything. As Earth's fleet moved homeward, signals followed them. Not weapons locks. Not threats. Questions. They came from everywhere. From council worlds that had once ignored Earth completely. From empires that had ruled by fear for generations. From small, broken systems that had learned to survive by being quiet. None of them knew how to speak to humanity anymore. Because the old language, power, dominance, threat, no longer worked. On the command deck of the lead ship, the alien commander stood near the viewport, watching stars slide past. He had fought wars for most of his life. He had negotiated surrenders, planned invasions, ordered retreats. He had never seen anything like this. "They don't know what to do with you," he said finally. The human leader did not look up from the data streams hovering before him. "That's normal," he replied. "Most systems break when their assumptions fail." "They're afraid," the alien continued. "Not of your weapons, of your intentions." The human paused. "They should be afraid of their habits," he said. "Not of us." As if summoned by the thought, a priority transmission cut through the background noise. "Galactic Council. Full session. Mandatory presence requested." The alien commander exhaled slowly. "This will not be friendly." "No," the human agreed. "But it will be honest." The channel opened. This time, the council chambers looked different. Gone was the confident order. Delegates sat closer to their displays, eyes sharp, movements tense. Some species displayed open signs of stress. Others hid it behind ritual stillness. The representative who spoke first chose their words carefully. "Earth," they said, "you have altered galactic stability." The human leader inclined his head slightly. "Yes." Murmurs spread instantly. "You disabled a doomsday system without authorization. You deployed repair code into shared infrastructure. You interfered in active conflicts." "Yes," the human said again. Calm. Unapologetic. The alien commander felt the tension spike. "This is not an admission," one delegate snapped. "It is an accusation." The human finally leaned forward. "No," he said quietly. "This is maintenance. You're just not used to anyone doing it without asking permission from broken systems." That phrase landed hard. Several council members reacted at once, voices overlapping in anger and outrage. Demands were made, oversight, restrictions, treaties rewritten in panic. The human leader listened. He always listened. When the noise finally died down, he asked a single question. "How many repair worlds do you currently operate?" The council hesitated. Some delegates glanced at each other. Others checked records. Officially, the representative answered. 17. And unofficially? The human pressed. Silence. The alien commander felt a chill. He knew that silence. It meant too many to count. "How many of those worlds are adequately defended?" The human asked next. No answer. "How many were abandoned when their strategic value dropped?" He continued. The silence deepened. The human nodded slowly, as if confirming a diagnosis. "You didn't lose control of the galaxy," he said. "You neglected it. We just fixed the parts that were failing the fastest." "That gives you no right to act unilaterally," a council member protested. "It gives us responsibility," the human replied. "We were the ones left behind with the mess." A new voice entered the session. Not a council member. An independent world's envoy, small, scarred, clearly nervous. "Earth saved us," the envoy said suddenly. "Our fleet was repaired. Our people lived. No demands were made." Another voice joined. Then another. Stories spilled out across the channel. Convoys protected without payment. Weapons disabled instead of fired. Old systems stabilized instead of exploited. The council lost control of the narrative in real time. The alien commander watched power shift, not violently, but irreversibly. "You're becoming a standard," he whispered to the human leader. "Others will measure themselves against you." The human's expression remained serious. That's what worries us, he said. Standards can be abused. As if to prove the point, a new alert flared across multiple feeds. A major empire, one of the oldest, had begun mass production of ships using modified human repair designs, not to stabilize systems, to enforce peace through overwhelming force. They're copying you, the alien commander said. But they don't understand you. The human leader's jaw tightened. That was always the risk, he said. The council erupted again, accusations flying. Earth was blamed for destabilizing the balance, for inspiring escalation, for proving too much was possible. The human raised his hand. The room fell silent, not because of authority, but because everyone suddenly wanted to hear what he would say next. We never promised to fix everything alone, he said. And we never claimed ownership over repair. He brought up a new projection, a map of the galaxy, not divided by borders or alliances, but by failure points. Supply chain collapse zones, treaty instability clusters, long-term conflict probability gradients. This is what we see, he continued. Not enemies, not allies, problems. You expect us to trust your analysis? A council member demanded. No, the human replied. We expect you to verify it, improve it, argue with it. The alien commander blinked. You're inviting them in, he said softly. After everything. Yes, the human answered. Because systems only stay fixed if everyone understands how they work. The council was quiet now, not because they agreed, but because they were being offered something they had never had before. Transparency. But there will be rules, the council representative said cautiously. Limits. The human nodded. Of course, he said. Repair without standards is just damage with good intentions. A long pause followed. Then the representative spoke again. What happens if we refuse? The human did not threaten. He did not smile. Then we keep fixing the worst breaks we can reach, he said. And you deal with the consequences of ignoring them. The transmission ended soon after, not with agreement, but with something more important. Engagement. On the journey back to Earth, the alien commander found himself watching human crews more closely. Not their technology, but their behavior. They mourned their losses quietly. They reviewed mistakes openly. They argued, not about blame, but about better methods. Your people don't act like conquerors, he said finally. The human leader looked tired again. Conquerors stop learning, he replied. We can't afford that. As Earth came back into view, a blue-green sphere wrapped now in visible infrastructure, the alien commander felt something he had not expected. Relief. But it was not shared everywhere. Deep in the shadow networks of the galaxy, plans were already forming. Not to fight Earth head-on, but to test it, to exploit its restraint, to force it to choose between fixing systems and protecting itself. The human leader watched new data streams appear, threat models updating in real time. They're going to push back, the alien commander warned. Harder than before. The human nodded. They always do, he said. That's when you find out what's really broken. As the fleet entered Earth's orbit, repair docks opened again, welcoming, efficient, unchanged in their calm purpose. The planet had not become a throne. It had become something far more dangerous. A mirror. And the galaxy, for the first time, was being forced to look at itself, fully repaired assumptions stripped away. Whether it liked what it saw was another matter entirely. The test did not begin with an attack. That was the first mistake. It began with paperwork. Across the galaxy, regulations changed quietly. Docking permissions delayed. Repair access questioned. Transit fees adjusted by fractions that looked harmless on reports. Nothing dramatic. Nothing that triggered alarms. But to Earth's systems, the pattern was clear. Someone was trying to see how much pressure could be applied before humanity reacted. On the surface of Earth, life continued normally. Repair docks operated at full capacity. Alien crews came and went. Coffee was served. Machines hummed. Children still watched ships rise and fall as if it were weather. Only the analysts noticed the shift. In a room without windows, human specialists watched maps filled with subtle distortions. Supply routes bending. Aid convoys rerouted away from Earth-fixed systems. Minor conflicts reignited in places that had stabilized only weeks before. They're isolating us, one analyst said. The human leader stood behind them, hands folded. No, he replied. They're isolating the idea. The alien commander joined him, studying the projections. They want to prove you can't be neutral and powerful at the same time, he said. They're daring you to choose sides. or force one on us, the human answered. The first real incident came from a mining world near the outer rim. Its atmosphere processors, recently repaired by Earth, failed catastrophically. Emergency signals went out. Earth's response teams prepared to launch. Then a message arrived. Assistance denied. Jurisdictional conflict pending review. The alien commander stared at the text. They're blocking you, he said. On purpose. The human leader nodded. They want to see if we'll push through. If you do, the alien warned, they'll call it aggression. And if we don't, the human replied, people die. Silence filled the room. That silence lasted 3 seconds. Launch anyway, the human said calmly. Non-intrusive profile. Full transparency. Earth's ships departed without escorts, weapons powered down, every system broadcasting intent and telemetry openly. They did not sneak. They did not threaten. They arrived too late. The mining world's processors had collapsed fully. Cities suffocated. Thousands died in minutes. The galaxy reacted instantly. News feeds blamed Earth. Why didn't they act sooner? Why didn't they override restrictions? Why did they respect a broken system instead of saving lives? The alien commander watched the reports with growing anger. They set you up, he said. They created a failure just to see how you'd be judged. Yes, the human replied quietly. And now they're watching what we do next. Across Earth, the mood shifted. Not toward rage. Toward resolve. Human crews reviewed the incident publicly. Data was released. Decisions were explained without excuses. The dead were named and honored, even though they were not human. This isn't fair, the alien commander said. You followed the rules. The human looked at him. Rules don't matter, he said, if they protect the wrong outcomes. The second test came faster. A coalition of mid-level powers announced a new stability enforcement fleet. Its stated purpose was peacekeeping. Its design told a different story. It used human-derived repair tech, copied imperfectly, rushed, weaponized. The fleet entered a volatile region and declared martial order. Communications were cut. Civilian ships were boarded for safety. Resistance was met with disabling force. Not lethal, just enough. They're using your methods, the alien commander said. Without your restraint. The human leader's jaw tightened. This is why we didn't want to be an example, he said. The coalition sent a message to Earth. Your technology has destabilized the region. We are correcting the imbalance. The human responded with a single sentence. Correction without consent is occupation. No reply came. Instead, the coalition fleet expanded operations. Refugee ships began arriving on Earth, not requesting repairs, requesting asylum. The alien commander watched families disembark, species after species, eyes hollow, movements careful. You can't take them all, he said quietly. The human leader watched too. We can take enough, he replied. Earth's infrastructure stretched. Temporary habitats unfolded. Supply chains rerouted. No speeches were made. No banners raised. But the galaxy noticed. Earth was no longer just fixing ships. It was absorbing consequences. That was the real test. How much weight could humanity carry before it broke, or pushed back? The coalition fleet finally made its move. Not against Earth. Against one of Earth's oldest repaired allies. A small world. No strategic value. No powerful fleet. Just stable. Peaceful. Fixed. The attack was clean. Efficient. Overwhelming. Earth's sensors detected it immediately. The alien commander turned to the human leader. If you intervene, he said, they'll call it war. The humans stared at the projection of the burning world. If we don't, he said, they'll call it precedent. For the first time since the warships rose from Earth's oceans, the human leader hesitated. Not out of fear, out of cost. Give the order, the alien commander urged. You can stop this. The human closed his eyes. Then he shook his head. Not like that, he said. Earth's response was strange. No fleet launched toward the attacked world. Instead, thousands of tiny signals activated across the galaxy. Repair code. Old code. Code embedded quietly over centuries. In the coalition fleet's ships. In their supply depots. In their command relays. Not shutting them down. Slowing them. Fuel flow inefficiencies increased by fractions. Communication lag rose by milliseconds. Predictive targeting lost confidence. Nothing dramatic, but enough. On the ground, the attacked world's defenses, long ignored, stabilized just enough to hold. Civilians escaped. Casualties dropped. The coalition fleet commander raged. find the interference. They couldn't, because it wasn't an attack. It was maintenance. Earth sent a final message. We are not fighting you. We are preventing irreversible damage. The coalition replied with fury. You are manipulating outcomes. Earth's answer came quietly. So are you. We're just minimizing harm. The galaxy split. Some worlds condemned Earth openly. Others quietly adjusted policies, afraid of being on the wrong side of repair. The Galactic Council reconvened in an emergency session. This time, the accusations were sharper. You are deciding who lives and dies through inaction and action alike, a delegate shouted. You've become a judge and mechanic both. The human leader listened. Then he spoke words that spread faster than any fleet. We are not deciding who lives, he said. We are deciding what breaks last. The chamber fell silent. The alien commander realized then what the test truly was. Not whether humanity had power, not whether it would use force, but whether it would accept being hated to do what was necessary. Because fixing systems meant breaking expectations. Earth did not withdraw. It did not conquer. It continued. More refugees were accepted. More systems stabilized quietly. More copied tech failed when misused. Losses mounted. Criticism grew. So did the results. Conflict zones shrank. Supply chains recovered. Fewer ships exploded by accident. Fewer worlds burned by mistake. Humanity absorbed blame like armor. At a cost. On Earth, memorials grew, not for victories, but for choices that saved some and not others. The alien commander stood beside one such memorial, watching names scroll endlessly. You're carrying the weight of the galaxy, he said. It will crush you. The human leader stared at the names. Maybe, he said, but if we drop it, it crushes everyone else first. Far beyond Earth, in hidden systems untouched by repair code, something watched carefully. Not an empire, not a council, something older, something that had survived every cycle by staying out of sight. And now, seeing humanity endure the test it never announced, it began to plan its own. Because if Earth could fix everything else, it would eventually find it. And that was unacceptable. The test was not over. It was only changing hands. The signal did not come through official channels. There was no council marker, no imperial encryption, no demand attached. It arrived quietly, buried under routine traffic, disguised as a corrupted maintenance ping. Most systems would have discarded it automatically. Earth did not. Human filters flagged it for what it was, deliberate concealment. The message was old in structure, ancient in logic, and careful in tone. You have interfered with a cycle you do not understand. The human leader read it twice. Then he exhaled slowly. So, he said, they're finally ready to speak. The alien commander stood beside him, uneasy. Who is they? The human did not answer immediately. He brought up archived records, fragments recovered from abandoned ships, corrupted logs, half-erased warnings written in languages no longer spoken. Patterns aligned. They're the ones who built the reset weapon, the human said. Or what came after them? An empire? The alien asked. The human shook his head. No. Survivors. The second message arrived before a reply could be sent. We stayed behind when others burned themselves out. We learned not to rule, not to fix. We learned to wait. The alien commander felt a cold pressure in his chest. Wait for what? For civilizations to fail, the human answered quietly. So they could inherit what was left. Across Earth, deep monitor systems awakened, layers beneath layers that had never fully powered on. Not defensive grids. Observation arrays. They've been watching us, the alien commander realized. Yes, the human replied. For a very long time. The hidden faction revealed itself slowly, deliberately, not with fleets, but with information. Star maps showing cycles of rise and collapse. Records of species that had tried to stabilize the galaxy before, only to be consumed by it. They showed empires that had tried to impose peace. Federations that had enforced harmony. Engineers who had fixed too much, too fast. All of them ended the same way. Burned out. Overextended. Turned into targets. You are repeating their mistake, the message warned. You will be destroyed. Or worse, you will become necessary. And then resented. The alien commander listened in silence. They're not wrong, he said finally. You're already being blamed for everything. The human leader nodded. We know. A third message arrived. Withdraw. Let the galaxy break itself again. We will ensure the cycle continues with minimal loss. That word, ensure, carried threat and promise together. The human closed the channel. For the first time since Earth had revealed itself, there was no immediate response. Only thought. The decision room filled slowly. Engineers, analysts, civilian representatives. Even off-world allies were invited. No ranks, no hierarchy, just people. The alien commander watched, stunned. "You're including everyone," he said. "Yes," the human replied. "Because this isn't a tactical choice. It's a moral one." The hidden factions argument was simple. If Earth stepped back, conflicts would return, but slowly, predictably, survivable. The galaxy had endured that cycle before. If Earth continued, it would destabilize ancient balances, provoke fear-driven alliances, and eventually face annihilation or forced control. The cost of fixing everything might be extinction. "We can stop," one human voice said quietly. "We've proven the point. Maybe that's enough." Another shook her head. "And leave everything we stabilized to collapse again?" A third spoke, trembling with anger. "They let worlds die to test us. They used us. We can't trust them." The alien commander realized something then. This was not humanity deciding the fate of the galaxy. This was humanity arguing with itself. After hours of debate, the human leader stood. He did not silence the room. He waited until the noise faded naturally. "They're right about one thing," he said. "We can't fix everything forever." Relief flickered across some faces. "But they're wrong about what happens if we stop," he continued. The room stilled. "If we withdraw now," the human said, "we teach the galaxy that repair is temporary. That restraint is optional. That pressure works." He looked around the room. "We become another abandoned repair world," he finished. Just louder. Silence followed. Then the human did something unexpected. He reopened the channel. But not privately. He broadcast it, galaxy-wide. Not as a threat. As a statement. "We know who you are," the human said calmly. "We know what you've waited for. And we understand why." The hidden faction replied instantly. "Then you understand why you must stop." The human shook his head. "No," he said. "We understand why you stayed hidden. And why we won't." The galaxy listened. "Every cycle you describe," the human continued, "ended because someone tried to control outcomes instead of improving systems. We're not here to rule. We're here to make failure harder." "Failure is inevitable," the hidden faction replied. "Yes," the human agreed. "But extinction doesn't have to be." The alien commander felt something shift, not in space, but in meaning. Earth wasn't claiming victory. It was rejecting inevitability. The hidden faction made its move. Not with fleets. With erasure. Across the galaxy, stars began to vanish from charts. Not destroyed, but removed from shared navigation data. Entire regions went dark, cut off by systems no one remembered building. "They're isolating you," the alien commander said. "Trying to starve your reach." Earth did not chase them. Instead, humanity did something no one expected. It stopped expanding. Repair ships halted their outward push. Stabilization efforts slowed, not ended, but handed off. Local systems were taught how to maintain what Earth had fixed. Documentation was released. Code opened. Training offered freely. "They're decentralizing," the alien commander realized. "You're making yourselves unnecessary." The human leader nodded. "We were never supposed to be permanent," he said. "Just a catalyst." The hidden faction reacted with confusion. "You are weakening yourselves." "No," the human replied. "We're strengthening everyone else." The galaxy changed, not all at once, but noticeably. Some systems failed without Earth's constant presence. Others adapted. Independent repair coalitions formed. Shared standards replaced secret advantages. Not everywhere. Not perfectly, but enough. The hidden faction watched its leverage erode. Their final message was almost angry. If you disappear, the cycle resumes. If you stay, you become a target. Choose. The human answered with a truth that could not be weaponized. "We choose to stay," he said, "but not to stand alone." Earth did not withdraw. It also did not dominate. It became something harder to fight. A foundation. Years passed. Wars still happened, but they ended faster. Fewer worlds burned by accident. Fewer weapons spiraled out of control. The hidden faction retreated deeper, their advantage gone in a galaxy that no longer relied on collapse to function. Earth remained the repair world. But now it was not alone. The alien commander, older now, stood on a balcony overlooking a familiar city. Human and alien children played beneath rising ships. Engineers from a dozen species argued cheerfully over designs. You could have ruled, he said to the human leader beside him. The human smiled faintly. That would have been easier, he said. And instead, the human looked out at the sky. Instead, he said, we stayed. Because someone had to. And this time, the galaxy did not forget the ones who did.